Hey everybody, Travis Bowman here. I'm a fingerstyle guitar player and retro video game nerd. Let's take a quick look at a brand new controller by a company called NYXI. Now, NYXI has made a lot of really cool controllers in the past for the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo GameCube and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to check out a controller that's designed specifically for the PC. This is the Master P1 from NYXI. It's a controller that's kind of like an Xbox style controller, but its primary function is supposed to be used on your gaming computer. Up until now, I've been really just kind of using my spare PlayStation 5 controller whenever I want to plug it in and play some games. This controller is wireless and it comes with its own dongle as well as USB-C charging cable. So just looking on the back of the box here, they tell us that we've got Hall effect joysticks, which is to be expected from NYXI. They don't mess around when it comes with joysticks. We want those Hall effects so you don't have any trouble with driftage in the future. We've got this really cool anti-slip texture that's on the grip. We've got a set of programmable back buttons with a locking feature, so I'll touch base on that here in a second. There's a mute button in case you want to mute your headset for some reason and you don't want to do it on the headset. You can do it from your controller. And we've also got some Hall sensor analog and micro changeable 2-in-1 triggers for precise control and customization. So here it is right up close and personal. This is the Master P1 from NYXI. It's a really, really nice, sleek design. And with that NYXI flair, when you press the button there, you get all these cool little RGB lights and stuff like that. It's actually a really, really low profile, but still kind of fancy with those lights. I like the sleek black look of the controller. And I'm gonna get you some close-up shots of the back so you can really see what's going on here in just a second. You can see on the face buttons there, that's nothing that we haven't seen before, A, B, X, and Y. They aren't really micro switchy buttons like we've seen in the past from NYXI, and that could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on your preference. For something like this, I could totally see why they didn't add that on there, but I have really enjoyed the micro switchy type buttons in the past. Now, the D-pad is another story. You probably hear that little click. It is more of a micro switchy type feel right there. It almost sounds kind of like a mouse click. And I don't know about you guys, but I actually really do like that. I really like that. So the sticks, it's your typical Xbox configuration right there. Dead center, we've got a button that's supposed to be a one-click mute. So I guess if you're trying to use this to control some sort of headset or something like that, you've got that button there right there on the controller to mute what you've got going on if you want your audio to be muted. And we've got some plus and minus buttons right there on the underside for volume. In addition to that, we've got your typical buttons right there that you would find on your Xbox, including some sort of little settings wheel right there, which I imagine can be mapped to whatever you want. This could be a really good controller to use for emulators and stuff as well, not just for your Steam games. So if you're looking to get into the Sega Dreamcast or something like that, this would probably be a really good alternative controller to use for that. So looking on the back here, we've got a set of these different switches right here, and they're going to do a lot of different things for your customization. Let's take a look at the one dead center down here above my left thumb. So this is going to configure how you're going to connect this controller. You can see on the very left we've got the Bluetooth symbol, and right there dead center it's NS for Nintendo Switch, and then on the right side it connects to your dongle, which looks like this. Really straightforward kind of a dongle right there. These are actually not buttons. I know they look like you can click them in like they are a button. These do not have any clickable buttons. This dongle is pretty much just kind of tied to this controller, which is not a bad thing in my opinion. And you know, while I'm looking at other stuff, they did include this with the NYXI symbol right there, which is really kind of cool. In case you wanted to have this wired, you could always just use this cable that they gave you. I don't know about you guys, but I have several different USB-C cables at this point. Everything is going USB-C these days, and this controller is no exception. You can see that USB-C right there. And I'm assuming that this right here is so you can attach some sort of mobile device like your phone to it or something like that if you want to play some mobile games on this guy. But they did not include any sort of attachment, so I haven't been a mobile gaming guy in quite some time, so maybe somebody in the comments can go ahead and tell me what that's all about right there. Back to the back of the controller here. So let's start with these down here. These are locking toggle switches right here. These are your programmable buttons over here that your middle finger would probably have access to. So if I flip that over off of the lock position, I can press that and program that to be whatever I want it to be on Steam, or I imagine any other application that you have on your PC. But I don't know about you guys. If you're like me and you don't really care for these buttons right here, I don't know if I've just not played the right game or whatever, you can come over here and lock that sucker and it's no longer able to push in like a button. It has just kind of become a part of this controller right here, and I frickin' love that. And if you wanted to, you could kind of flip it around and have this button be a button that can be pressed, and this one is just rock solid if you wanted to. I like that they give you complete control over that customization. Now, let's look at these switches over here up top. They've done this before in the past, specifically with the Nintendo GameCube controller that they did a while ago. But here you have your triggers right here, and they go all the way down. There's lots of travel distance, as you would expect for like a first-person shooter or something like that. When we flip this switch up, like so, this becomes a clickable button, which is a really cool idea, and I'm really happy to see them incorporating this in this controller too, because I'm thinking this could possibly be a controller for use on the PC. This could be like the end-all PC controller, right? And having these be triggers for something like a shooter, and I'm gonna go back here and flip that switch, or it could be just another clicky button for whatever other game that you might want. It's a really cool idea, and I'm really digging that quite a bit. So other than that, this is kind of just your typical controller. They just have their own flair and their own ideas for flipping these switches for different customizable things, and I really do dig that. And I like how easy it would be for you to switch from being a PC controller attached with this dongle to getting on your Nintendo Switch or doing whatever other Bluetooth thing that you might want to do with this guy right here. Overall, I'm really enjoying this controller. I can see this kind of being my main PC controller for a lot of different things. If you press that right there, you can see all these RGB lights going across there. I like that it adds a little bit of personality to the controller, but it's not too distracting. And by the way, that's blinking because it's not pairing to anything, because I have the dongle right here instead of plugged up into my computer. One final thing that I'd like to touch about this controller and NYXI controllers in general is the fact that it's extremely easy to pair this up, and I've never had any issues with NYXI controllers in general as far as getting them to pair to the device that I want them to pair to. I've had so many issues with a couple of different wireless controllers, especially those for retro video game consoles, and getting those to pair can sometimes be a nightmare. But I'm happy to report that I have had zero issues with this controller connecting to that dongle. And so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is a really cool controller by NYXI, and I really appreciate them sending me this for review. We've done a lot of stuff together in the past, and everything that they've sent me I've really enjoyed. I've had my criticisms about some of their controllers, but for the most part, they're right on the money. And they have sales and stuff all the time for holidays and stuff like that. And speaking of, if you're interested in this controller or any other controller by NYXI, for that matter, you should check out the link in the comment section below. You can get 10% off your order of any NYXI controller just by using the promo code Travis Bowman Music. So I highly recommend that you guys do that if you're looking to get something like this for your PC setup, or even a controller for your Nintendo Switch. This actually will work with the Nintendo Switch, and I think it's actually a good controller for something like that. Now, granted, I'm mainly going to be using this just for my PC because, like I said, up until this point, I've really just been using my spare PlayStation 5 controller for PC gaming. But you know what? I do like to play some multiplayer stuff on the PlayStation 5, and I'm tired of having to pair this back up with the PlayStation when I'm done using it for PC gaming. So I'm really happy that I actually have something like this instead. This is going to be my dedicated PC gaming controller from here on out, because the D-pad is actually really good for 2D games. I was playing some Streets of Rage 4, and it's actually really nice and tight. And not like most other D-pads where you feel like you don't really have that much control. This little micro switchy thing that we've got going on here really goes a long way for 2D games, and I'm really enjoying that. And the sticks feel great for all sorts of different shooters and stuff like that too, like Doom and Doom Eternal. It felt right at home using this controller on those games. I've got my computer connected to my TV with Steam and everything pulled up, so this is a great time. I'm really enjoying this controller quite a bit. Thank you so much, NYXIs, for sending me this controller and being a really cool company and caring about small YouTubers like me. I really appreciate that. They're really, really cool guys. So like I said, check the link in the comments section below as well as in the description if you want 10% off this NYXI controller. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think about this controller. What's the best PC controller for gaming in general? I think this could be a contender for sure, just because of the triggers and those switches. You can flip those to make those into buttons if you don't want to deal with that long analog press, as well as these buttons right here. I can think of a lot of different use cases for a controller like this, and it's really customizable and it's super easy to do because of the buttons and stuff that you have on the back to easily change this from being like an analog trigger to being more like a digital button. I think a lot of PC games could really utilize this controller very well. So let me know what you guys think about the Master P1 in the comments section below. I really appreciate you guys subscribing. Thanks for commenting on this video. Thanks for liking this video and checking out all the other stuff that I have on my YouTube channel. I greatly appreciate that too. Thanks so much for watching. You guys have a good one, and I'll catch you at the next one. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.